So, could you please briefly share any challenges that you have faced in your career and how mental strength has helped you overcome it?
When you're playing at any sport or in any walk of life, you have to be mentally strong. If you're not mentally strong, then you lose out on so many things, because then things don't work the way you want them to work. Because I think mental strength is the most important thing, because when you're in trouble, when you're in problem, it's only the mental aspect, which takes you through. Okay? Sometimes the body doesn't respond, but when the mind is very strong, the body will definitely respond. Because now if you ask me to play, yes, I can play. I'm mentally strong, but now my body will not allow me to play. So that is the only difference. Before, both the things were in sync, in coordination. So that's why we achieve whatever you want to achieve. Because if you want to achieve something in life, you have to excel. There is one point where somebody is good and somebody is better than good. You have to, when you have to become excellent, when you have to excel in any sport or any walk of life, you have to do more than what the others are doing. So that happens only when you're mentally strong, and when the mind says that, okay, fine, I have to be better than him. So that's when you take those challenges. But at the same time, I've had many challenges where so many times. I think I remember very early in my career, because I have not even played for India. So I remember I was playing under 25 game in Ahmedabad. Suddenly I got a telegram from my home that my grandfather was very ill and then I have to start immediately. At that time, it was very I wanted to actually go, but something was telling me that, okay, now fine, I have to stay mentally strong, because this is my very important game. If I leave it and go, then it becomes very difficult. Although my grandfather was very, very close to me, whatever I am today is because of his praise and my parents and everybody, all the support. But at the end of the day, if I was not mentally strong, I did score 100. I scored 151 even after hearing the news, because I was like, mentally I was very upset, but at the same time, I was very strong. That's how I got a 151, and then that's why I got selected for the first test match for the Indian team. So these are the things, which are all, you have to be mentally very strong. And there are times when I remember playing one game in Chennai in 1994 against West Indies. I think it was end of September or beginning of October. You know how Chennai is, it's very, very hot, very sapping. It's like 100% humidity, and then I was I was captain, but at the same time, my fielding position was a very tough one, because I have to run from point to point, because then West Indies had 2-3 left-hand players. So I was running from one, like if they had taken a single, I had to run from point to point, and then it was very tough, it was a very hot day, and then everybody was perspiring, and then I was really very, very tired at the end of the day. Then when I went into bat, when I think we fielded first and then second, we had a shot in the second time. We were, I think, 0 for 2 or something like that. Then I was batting number 4. But then when I went into bat, I was like, after 5 or 6 runs, I was feeling like I was drained out, and then I was going to hold down or something like that. But I think I mentally, at that time, I was very strong. I did score 81, and I named me as man of the match in that game. I got 81. But if I was not mentally strong at that point, I would have come back. But at that time, I felt that whatever may happen, I have to stay mentally strong. And then we have lost 2 wickets, and then I couldn't get out of the ground. So when I came back after scoring 81, I was so tired and I didn't know what was happening. Somebody was removing my pad, somebody was removing my, I was so mentally there's so much pressure. I wanted to do well and I wanted to excel. So that's how, you overcome all these things, if you're mentally strong. And then I think one more time, quite a few times it happened, but I think one more time when I came back from South Africa in 92, it was too much pressure. I almost wanted to give up captaincy, but I think I got a shot for 2 matches and then 2 one-days and 1 test match. But it was tremendous pressure. The first match I played one day, I didn't do well. Second match, I did score 38 not out. I slightly felt that my timing, my form is going to come back. But then when I went to Calcutta, that was a very pressure game, because that would have been my last test match. If I had not scored in that game, probably it would have been very, very difficult for me to come back into the side. In 1993, when I went there, Calcutta has always been a savior for me. That ground is very special to me. I've got a lot of runs right from when I was playing in school. So in that match also was Actually, it was mentally, I was very challenged, at that time, because there's so much pressure on me. But then I said to myself, okay, fine, what will happen? I will get only dropped in this game if I don't do well. If I take too much pressure, then I won't be able to play. But I went there and then I played with an open mind. Then I think I got some 182s again. I was named man of the match in that match. So that's how things started changing. So these are three important things I remember at the moment, because then if I have to recollect, it will take me a lot of time.
Thank you for the response, sir. And my second question is, what message would you like to share with the youth who are engaged in sport with regards to the importance of mental strength?
I think the most important thing I would tell the youth, you have to identify where you're good, in which field you're good, and then start working on it. Because see, in what happens, there are a lot of, I'm just giving an example, because since we are talking, I'll give a very elaborate answer, because when I go to the coaching camps, sometimes I get invited to go to the coaching camp, but there are players I know, they are not good, but they still come and they waste their time for 5 years, 6 years. The parents think that the boy is going to play, but the boy doesn't possess the skill, because he doesn't have the skill to go forward. So they still want him to play, because he might be good in some other game, he might be good in some other academic, maybe in academics and all. But we try to pressurize. First we have to find out what we are good at, skillful, and it is the job of the parents also, and it's also the job of the son also. Who are a son, a boy or a girl. So at that time, because if you don't have the skill, there is no point in hard work and doing all this, so many things which combine dedication, application. Once you have the skill, then if you apply all these three things, then you become successful. But when you know that I am not good at cricket, but still I am continuing to play cricket, which is not going to take me anywhere. I'm losing 3-4 years or 5 years. But maybe in those 5 years, maybe I would become a very good student. Maybe I become a very good hockey player. I might have more talent in other sports or other fields. So I think this is what is very important in the first place. But then after all these things, the mental strength comes. First we have to identify where you are good at. Then only you have to become mentally strong. And then I think we have to, have good habits, good eating habits, good sleeping habits, because nowadays with the phones and all, you're playing PUBG and all these things, they play for till 2-3 o'clock in the morning. That's not going to help. Because I think if you want to do well, if you want to really excel in sport or in any other thing, if you want to be better than the best, so you have to sacrifice a lot, because once you start sacrificing, then you will see the result, then you will gain the result. Then only everything comes. Mentally, if you are not strong mentally, you cannot do it. You can't play. Like your dad, mentally strong, he played for India. If you are not mentally strong, you would have only played Ranji Trophy and that's all. Because he wanted to play, he wanted to be better than his colleagues in the Ranji Trophy. So that's why he went up and played for India. But with his colleagues, there are not many people. Everybody in the 11 didn't play for India. Yes. Maybe they were very skillful. Maybe they might have been more skillful than him. But the hard work and the mental strength took him somewhere. So it happens it's like that only. Because people mistake, think that, okay, fine, we are not getting chances and all. And they give up. You should never give up in life. You have to keep trying. When you know you are good at it, you have to keep working hard. One day the result will come. For hard work, every time you work hard, whatever hard work you put in practice, it will definitely give you results somewhere along the line. Maybe you might not become a very big player. Play for India, but it will be something different. It will be something good for you in that store. So that's how it is. Mentally, if you are not mentally strong, then you can't do anything. You can't achieve anything. So that's the main.
That's one.
Because I want the youth to into good habits.
Right.
Drugs, drinking, and all these things. It will not take you anywhere.
Yes. And so my final question, how did mental strength help you in the legendary 3 back-to-back hundreds knock which you played?
First test match I was very nervous because I only came to know 45 minutes before the toss that I am going to play in that test match. The first match I was very tense, but in the next 2 matches I was totally relaxed because I got 100 and then I was relaxed. But I think because whatever hard work I put in, I think I had some divine blessings and divine power in that count, Because without that, I would not have scored 300. It's not very easy because, I work very hard for it. But then scoring 300, I've never expected. But when these are the things, when you work hard, when you have belief in yourself, everything, you need divine help also. Because I think that time, I had a lot of divine help, lot of prayers from my parents, from my my grandfather, and the people who taught me how to play. All the coaches. For me, it is very hard to name everybody, but I think all the coaches who really helped me. Because you have to be a keen listener. When you listen, you learn a lot. Because a lot of people don't listen. Because I always felt that good advice is usually what we need to hear rather than what we want to hear. Because we want everything good. We want to hear good about us. You don't want to hear criticism. When somebody criticizes, you get very annoyed. Why is he criticizing? Why is he doing that? But in that criticism, there is a lot of learning.